Good morning, this is Mike Fuhrman at Statesville Free News and Views. I'm here today at Piedmont Healthcare with former Chamber of Commerce Chairman Jeff Smith and the new Chairman Bryan Duncan. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Good morning.
First, I want to congratulate you both on the banquet last week. It was always a good night in Statesville to celebrate our civic and business leaders, and I think it was good for everybody to get to see your new president and CEO in action. Jeff, I'll start with a few questions for you.
Sure.
I know you put in a long 2 years as as chairman, and you did a lot of work. The Chamber did as an organization on kind of recrafting your vision and mission for the future. Tell us a little bit about that process and what you came up with.
Yeah, so we brought together all the folks in the community that we thought were key members, trying to really figure out what do people want from the Chamber? What do they want us to be? Because so many times we hear, I didn't get any value from the Chamber. I don't know what my membership really means or gets me. So we put together a plan that we thought would really enable us to go to the community and say, here's what we're doing, here's what we're about, and here's why we think you should support this. Because we believe that it's about the community, and it's really about the Chamber becoming the connector to all pieces. So you know, workforce development is a huge piece for us now. Public policy is a huge piece for us now. And yeah, we have to do the fundraising activities, things like that. We think that's incredibly important. But we also have to be other things to people. And if you're a new business coming to town, how do I get started? Who do I talk to? We want to be that front door. We want to be that helping hand. So that word connector in our value statement is so important to us.
Mm-hmm. You know, Bryan, I know you were also involved in hiring the new president and CEO. So tell us a little bit about that process and, you know, what you were thinking when you were looking at the applicants and how Shannon, I guess, seemed to be the perfect fit to move the Chamber forward.
Sure. First, kudos to Julia Wilson for helping to lead that process. When I think about the process, I thought it was very well executed. We had just some high-quality individuals that were interested in coming to Statesville to assume the role that David Bradley had once worked at. Shannon immediately rose to the top, though, I think, and it was pretty apparent to everyone. Probably her experience and certainly her energy. Mm-hmm. Her passion for the Chamber work, her knowledge, her experience, all that shined through in the interview process. And that's no slight to anyone else, but we felt like she was the best fit for this community and for the goals we had moving ahead.
Mm-hmm. And you feel like she's hit the ground running?
No question.
Yeah, without a doubt.
See, you know, it's never easy to follow someone who's been in that job for so many years. Mm-hmm. So for her to come in and to meet all these people that she's never met before, to have them respect her, to value her opinion, she has done that quickly. She's a true professional, and I think she'll be an asset to this community, hopefully for many years to come.
You know, a lot of people, I think, don't realize how small the Chamber staff is. They see, oh, the Chamber's a big organization with 400 plus members, and they're involved in so many things, but it's really a few dedicated full-time professionals that make it work. You gentlemen are two of many, many volunteers that actually make it all possible. From the ambassadors to all the people who serve on the different committees, the volunteers who serve at the different events the Chamber's involved in. How do you rally those people to stay involved year after year?
That's the million-dollar question, I think. You know, we have to show value to the membership. And I think by doing that, that causes those in the membership to want to be engaged. And we also have to make sure that we maintain a good relationship, quality communication with our volunteers, show appreciation to volunteers when it's appropriate to do so. You know, it's a volunteer organization, and like you said, I don't think a lot of people actually realize that. It's volunteer from the at least to the extent that everyone, with the exception of staff, are volunteers, and it's a total team effort. And with 3, 4 full-time staff putting out the volume of work that they do, we really rely on the volunteers to come in, step in, and be engaged and really take some ownership and responsibility for some of the work so that we can all accomplish our goals. And the goal is, and we have to keep this in mind, the goal is to make Statesville a better place for everybody, businesses and everyone else.
Now, the leadership program, you have the youth leadership program and then the program for working professionals. You know, I did that when I first came to Statesville, 2003. My son did it last year as the youth leadership. When you look back on, I mean, you've had hundreds and hundreds of people go through those programs now. How do you measure the dividends from a program like that? How do you say, well, we've moved these people to participants to actual leaders in our community? I mean, are those the people that you see involved in chamber events? Are you seeing people run for office who've come through that? Or are they business leaders?
I think for me, and I've had the opportunity to deal with the kids this year probably more than ever. It's a group of kids who I don't think truly understood Statesville. They knew the small part that they lived in, the small part where they went to school, but they didn't understand all of it. And I think they've been given an opportunity to see all of it, and now with that, they can do those things. I still anticipate that they'll go somewhere for school, but I think we've raised our chance that they're going to come back and live in this community, be a productive member of this community, possibly run for office, possibly fill our jobs when we're done, but more importantly, volunteer and help the community become a better place. That's really what our hope is. I had a chance to talk to those kids, and actually I get to go back next month to talk to them again. They're amazing kids that just have these wide eyes, and they're just sponges for information. It is such a pleasure to talk to them. When I left, one kid chased me into the parking lot, and he said, I just need to ask you a political question. I just want your opinion on something. I'm like, really? You want my... And he had such an intelligent question, and I mean, he could hold a conversation. I was just so impressed with him. So I'm excited about those programs and think it's just a value that a lot of people don't really know about.
Jeff, last tough question for you. When you look back on your 2 years and the accomplishments of the chamber during that time, what's the 1 or 2 things you would hang your hat on and say, you know, I really feel like it was time well spent for me personally?
Well, that's a good question. I always cherish the ability to meet people that I didn't know before. I mean, Brian and I didn't know each other. I love this guy. He's just a great man, and so the ability to meet people and work with people that you haven't had an opportunity to work with before. You know, as I said the other night, I hope that we could leave it a little bit better than we found it. And you know, certainly to have David leave in the last 6 months, it really showed me the strength of the people that I was working with and their ability to rise up and, you know, deal with a difficult situation and then find the replacement that makes a lot of sense for Statesville, and then see that the chamber will go on and it will go on better than before. So I had a little part in that. I'm very lucky that I had great people around me to help us through that. And I think I can leave, you know, knowing that the chamber is in a good place. Now, that being said, I just volunteered to be the treasurer of the chamber because unfortunately the gentleman, Jermaine Parker, unfortunately took a job in Charlotte, so we needed somebody to step up, so I did. I'm also now on the Education Workforce Committee. I have a meeting this afternoon. But I love this town, and so I don't think the work is ever done. But I think the last 2 years that really was what just gave me so much joy was working with these people.
Brian, that was really easy compared to your last couple of questions. You know, as the chairman of a nonprofit with a small staff and a big mission, you know, part of your job is to drive the ship, make sure that the chamber's, you know, doing what the board expects it to do, What are your priorities, in the coming year? Like, how do you want what do you want your mark to be a year from now? What are you going to champion?
First, I think I want to make it clear that I believe in participatory leadership. I think that the best leadership happens when all voices are heard. Mm-hmm. And one thing I would like to see, whenever my time is up, is that we have become more inclusive, that we maybe value more the opinions of all folks, mm-hmm. That we approach all communities with the same interest in terms of business development, that there are opportunities for growth on Southside Statesville as there are uptown and at the mall. And I think we just have to have more of an open mind and think through processes a little clearer. And I think we can accomplish those things.
So Jeff spoke a little bit earlier about the value of the chamber membership. Give me your best sales pitch now for being a chamber member in 2019. When people think they can market their business all by themselves on Facebook, they have all the email contacts. Chamber membership is pretty affordable. Cost should not be the prohibitive factor to be a member of the chamber, but I think it's time. People are like, I want to be a chamber member, but Lord, I don't want to volunteer for all these things. I don't have time for all that. When, in fact, that's what you're signing up for, right? So what's your sales pitch to maybe a new business owner to get involved with the chamber?
Well, I think that volunteerism is part of it. The onus really falls on the chamber to help market that business. I think it's important that we communicate that to businesses, that we are able to help maybe help you leverage some of your time, help you to do some things that you may not have time to do. And I'll use this as an example. So we had one business that responded recently and needed to back away from some of the volunteerism, not backing away from the chamber. But I think that's an opportunity for the chamber to step in and say, hey, we can help you with some of the things on the marketing side that may be able to allow you to do some other things that you may need to pay closer attention to at your business. We don't want businesses to fail. There is a level of expertise that the chamber has within the staff and within some of the other chamber members. I think we can leverage those opportunities. As long as we communicate that to other businesses, then I think those opportunities are there for everyone to grow and to develop.
All right, gentlemen, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
And thanks for our viewers for joining us this week.